this. Or touch Jason.
Male voice in love. Male voice, yeah. Ah!
Before we get into this video, there's a few things that I want to say here. I've been sitting on this footage for a while. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make a video on this or not. There is an innocent person in all of this, and that is Jason. And it's unfortunate what happened with Jason in the video. I felt bad for him. Shouldn't have happened. Faking a paranormal event on someone else's expense is absolutely humiliating. I would have been embarrassed by it. Jason moved on. Great guy, doing his own thing. Love what he's doing. You know, props to you, Jason. This is my footage of Waverly Hills. This was back in 2017. I was with my son. We were actually filming for a Amazon Prime show. I'm not even going to name it because it was terrible. I don't want you guys to find it. This is the walkthrough. I want you guys to kind of pay attention. I will pause on key frames just to show you guys and explain a few things. Let's get to it. Real quick, let me back this up. This is where Jason was sitting, and this is where the ball was thrown. There are a few things here that I want you guys to notice. I will be doing a side-by-side comparison a little bit later in the video. I will be showing blueprints as well. There's a reason for the blueprints. So something I want you guys to notice. Look at the walls inside this room. Pay attention to these walls. Where 502 is on the wall, that's where Jason was sitting. If we look to the left, we can see a doorway. That doorway, and I will show this in a little bit, leads to the big room where the ball was. We have a problem here. There is basically a partitioned wall where the doorway is that leads to the big room. I'm going to take my cursor. I'm going to bring it over. We have this wall here. This can be debunked right here, right now anyways. So we have Jason sitting over here by 502. This wall lines right up all the way into the big wall, or the big room, I should say. We have this bearing wall here that would be blocking anything from hitting Jason. It's gonna move on. Too. I'm going to pause here. Now, Patrick claimed that this room came to a dead end. Obviously, it does not. There's a doorway that leads to the roof. It's not really important, but I'm putting it out there because this does not come to a dead end. Patrick also claimed that he was halfway in this room. To skip ahead, when Patrick turned around, he claimed that he was halfway in this hall. That is absolutely not true, and I'm going to prove that. He was standing right around where I was standing when he turned around. Check it out. Okay. But this used to be where the playground was. Alright. Find those stairs again. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to bring it back. Observe the room, guys. It's important. The beams. These are important. These are telling. we are actually looking at the opposite angle of where Patrick was when he had seen the ball. And again, I'm going to do side by sides, I'm going to break it down. Just pay attention.
Those stairs again.
Also take note of how loud it is in this place when you're walking. There's so much debris and garbage. That's important to know. I want to do a quick side by side. I think it's important. I want to make sure that we are in the right area. Obviously, we're in the right area. We can see the marking on the wall. It all adds up. There are some differences. There's a bucket in Patrick's footage, which is on the left. No bucket in my footage, that is on the right. The ball, they're in different positions. So the beam, this is what's important, I think, and it's telling. So we have this beam here. And if we go to the right, follow my cursor, this is the doorway Patrick was standing in. He claims that he was 15 to 20 feet away from the ball. That's not 15 or 20 feet away from anything. How do I know that? I have blueprints, which probably just blinded everyone because it just did me. That's bright. This is exactly where they were. You can see over to the left the numbers 14, 13, and 12. Those are lockers, or once were lockers. That is where Jason was sitting at the time. This is the room that they were standing in. This is the room where the ball was thrown. If we look at the number 6 here, if you go to the left, that's a doorway. That's where Patrick was standing when he seen the ball. And the ball, where we see the FT stands for feet, right there. That's where the ball was. And we know this is 12 feet, well, because it says right here, 12 feet. Each of these beams are 12 feet apart. So we know Patrick was anywhere from 12 to 11 feet away from the ball. He could have ran over, grabbed that ball in under 10 seconds, to be honest. What, 6 or 7 steps to get to the ball and the same amount back? Very easy to do. I'm going to let this loop, but this is, again, side by side. Patrick's footage is to the left, my footage to the right. Everything adds up. We are in the right area. I also marked where the doorway is to get out to the roof. So again, it doesn't come to a dead end. So everything is the same. I'm leaving absolutely no doubt whatsoever. This is the same area. With this screenshot, I'm going to let it loop and I will explain. So again, this is the big room. This is where the ball was. Where the green scribble is, that's roughly where the ball was that Patrick had seen. Now Patrick, he was standing in the doorway. That's circled in red. Don't I make great circles? Give a thumbs up if you love those circles. Now, in blue, that is the other doorway that goes out to the roof. Now you can, as I shown in my video, you can definitely get back inside the building from the other side of the roof. We have a problem here. If we look just left to the door that Patrick was standing in, we have a short wall there. How the hell did that ball travel into that room to hit Jason? It's going to run into that wall. There is absolutely no way in hell that that ball would have hit Jason from where that ball was. Not happening. Now, if the ball was tossed by a ghost and managed to make it into that room where Jason was sitting in, it would not have hit Jason. It would have went in front of him. Alright, so now we're back in the room where Jason was sitting when he was hit by the ball. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to play this piece here real quick. So, Jason, he's sitting where 502 is. Patrick claims he was in the middle of the hallway in the bathroom. But we have a problem. That is this wall. How the hell does a ball go through a wall and hit Jason? It's impossible. So I'm going to let this play out. Again, we see where Jason's at and where Patrick claims he's at. There is absolutely no way the ball's getting through that wall. The bottom line there, I'm just showing that where Jason was sitting, that wall, it lines right up with the wall outside of the room. The big room where the ball was. That's important. That ball is not going through that wall. Not happening. I'll let this play out. That's where Jason was. But where was Patrick really when this all happened? Right where that red line is, that's where Patrick was standing when he turned around to come back into the room. Now, he claimed that he was halfway in that room. He absolutely was not, and his own video proves he was not. And I will definitely show that. What really happened here, as all the other debunkers have said, and a lot of other people believe, Patrick threw the ball. That's exactly what happened. Before Patrick completely entered into that room, he tossed the ball at Jason. If you look at the speed of the ball, the angle of the ball, it was thrown short distance. It was not going fast enough to hit Jason. Even if this wall that I keep talking about wasn't there, it was not going fast enough to hit Jason. What I'm going to do now is go frame by frame, and there are things that I want you guys to notice. Okay. First thing I want you guys to notice. Watch where my cursor is. Watch right up there. Frame by frame. There is a shadow that appears. I'm going frame by frame here. Now, the other thing that I want you guys to know is I'm going to back it up here. Look at how close that ball is to the wall. That ball is like an inch and a half, okay, maybe 2 inches away from that wall when it hit Jason. That means Patrick was just at the threshold of going into the bathroom when he tossed that ball at Jason. Now, again, I'm going to go frame by frame. Ball hits Jason, he reacts, and I feel bad for him. I'm disgusted that this happened to him. I'm going to go frame by frame. Now, probably around this time, Patrick started stepping foot further into the bathroom, but he was not halfway in. And I'm going to prove that. Now I'm going to go ahead and prove exactly where Patrick was when this whole thing happened. Pay attention to the bottom left corner. I'm going to go frame by frame. So the ball hits Jason. I mean, that genuinely freaked him out. That would have freaked anybody out, to be honest. Let me go ahead, back this up. All right, again, bottom left corner, guys. Frame by frame. Patrick's light is now entering into the frame. So what this tells me is that when he turned around to the left. But the way the light is coming in, He really and truly was not halfway in that bathroom. The other thing I want you guys to notice too here real quick, but again, just pay attention to that light on the left bottom. Okay, now Patrick is basically in the room, but I want you guys to pay attention. I'm going to roll it back just a little bit. Pay attention to Jason over Jason's head. You guys are going to see something very similar to what I shown earlier. See that shadow? I'm going to go ahead. It's in reverse though, because Patrick's coming in and this is the way his light is. The shadow that I pointed out that was over Jason's head just before the ball was thrown matches up to Patrick. Let me go ahead. Go frame by frame. There's no doubt that before the ball was thrown, that was Patrick's shadow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to loop this little piece here so you guys can get a good view of it. There is no doubt in my mind that Patrick threw the ball. He threw the ball. So there's a reason why I'm bringing this screenshot up. So during PEX, Matt confronted Patrick about the ball throw. Patrick straight up lied to Matt's face and said, "I know what happened. It was security. They threw the ball." Maybe not his exact words, but within that context. I've been to Waverly Hills many times. I know how their security works. Security does not go into that building while there's an investigation going on. Now, if there's an emergency, that's a different story. But obviously, we have the answer right here. Our security does not come into the building unless the director of operations tell them they can. They watch our cameras and patrol the property. So all they do is walk around outside the parameter of the building. That's it. And that's during investigations. They don't go inside. I sent them a message, asked them about it, and yeah, this was the reply. It wasn't security. Now, what I want to know is, if Patrick figured out what was really going on, what really happened, I don't know about you guys, but I probably would have figured it out when I was reviewing the footage. Earlier in the video, I said pay attention to how loud it is with just my son and I walking around the building. You would have heard security's footsteps on those cameras, and I know the cameras that they're using. I'm very familiar with them. In fact, I own one of those cameras. That microphone would have picked up the footsteps, especially coming in that small room. So he straight up lied to Matt's face. Another thing that I want to bring up. The footage. Where is this footage? Jason told Patrick, "Hey, well, why don't you put the footage out there?" I mean, that would prove that Patrick had nothing to do with the ball throw. Patrick's reply was, "I could." That right there, that tone, said it all. He had no intentions to. He was busted. He was caught. But he kept making excuses. Oh, you know, I should have done this when I did the video so people could have a better understanding of what blah, blah, fucking blah. No, what he did was basically threw other people under the bus, making them basically come off as being stupid. That's what happened. All people asked for was the footage. Do a side-by-side. Line up the footage with what was shown with Jason And then on your angle, line up the audio, get it out there. So simple to do, yet Patrick wouldn't do it. I wonder why Patrick wouldn't do it. Because he knows he's guilty. He threw the ball. It's that simple. Capturing something like that, if it was actually paranormal, that is huge. I can't even begin to explain how big that is, especially for the community. And having all angles, having everything covered, and putting it out there is important. We could possibly learn something from it. But of course, that didn't happen because Patrick threw the fucking ball. Being an investigator for many, many years, there are things that I can spot. For the past, I don't know, 3.5 years, somebody's going to correct me in the comments, I'm sure. Go ahead. I've been saying to some people, something's not right. Patrick's faking things. The way he acts and the way certain things happen and some of the editing, it screamed bullshit. No, I don't think Matt'll mind me throwing his name out there, but I was telling Matt for quite some time. Something's not right. He's faking. And this is before the ball throw. This is before the Clean Water Demon House. I mean, this goes way back from watching some of the stuff. It got to a point where I couldn't watch it anymore because I'm like, this is bullshit. Jason's innocent of it. Patrick's the one who's putting the episodes together. But there's a common thing that I kept noticing in those videos. Where the hell was Jason? I'm not blaming Jason, but a lot of these, it was strange because a lot of these events seem to happen behind Jason's back. Now, I have to be fair. Have they captured legitimate paranormal activity? Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. The problem is now, what is real and what isn't? Now we have a credibility problem. Jason doesn't have the credibility problem. Patrick has the credibility problem. I want to talk about the Clean Water Demon House. There's no demon in that house. Matt, Dante, and I, we've been to the house. It's just an abandoned house, like damn near out in the middle of nowhere. The Clean Water Demon House, as it's called, it's a made-up name. It's freaking clickbait. That's all it is. And of course, it's going to get a lot of views because the word demon is in the title. Now, before the debunkers ripped that video apart, there was a editing error, as Patrick called it. There was a bowl on the counter that flew off and something touched Patrick. I don't think anything touched Patrick, to be honest. I think that was an act. But all of that happened supposedly at the same time, which it actually didn't. Watching the video, I think it was a curtain. Patrick did a split screen to show everything happening all at once. On one split screen, the curtain was down, I think it was a curtain, was pulled down a lot further than it was on another camera, on their split screen. He got called out on it. Debunkers went, tore that thing up, but Patrick's like, oh, I'm sorry, it was an editing error. You know, it wasn't faked, it was an editing error. It said some shit like that. That's a huge editing error. That wasn't an editing error. That was done on purpose. That is something that you can't overlook. The audio matches up with the video on both angles. He did that on purpose. There's no demon at the Clean Water Demon House. He just named it that. You throw the word demon in a video, man, you're going to get views. It's clickbait. Before I get into this last part, I want to be very clear about this. I think it is absolutely amazing that there are people out there who are making a living off of YouTube, making money, creating content, doing what they love to do. That is amazing. I absolutely love that. I am not one to tell people who they should or should not support. That I'm not going to do that. People have the right to support whoever they want on YouTube. What I do take issue with is the way, well, in this case, Patrick, how he goes about it. There's a lot of manipulation that he does to get these donations. I'll explain that in a little bit. This may not be something that I should throw out there. I might get in trouble for it. I'm not the only one who knows this. There are ways of finding this out. I want you guys to think about this. This does not include PayPal, Cash App, merchandise, whatever else. This is strictly YouTube donations only. Doesn't even include ad revenue. Patrick has made over $75,000 in donations. I am not kidding. You can definitely look it up. I'm not going to say how to do that here. Find that out on your own. I want you guys to think about that. He's trying to get donations so he can continue to create content for his viewers, his supporters. I know for a fact most of the locations that he has gone to, he hasn't had to pay for. He knows people that can get him into locations for free. If I try to get into these locations, I gotta pay for it. There are locations that he has not gone back to because he's burned those bridges. I don't know the specifics, but I know that there are certain locations I won't name that he's just not allowed to go back to. I'm gonna do some math. And I'm gonna think of all the places I could have went to, or anyone could have went to with that kind of money. So, we'll start with Waverly Hills. Last time he went to Waverly Hills, somebody else paid for that. They just had to pay their way to get there. So, Waverly Hills is a $1,200 bill. Let's see. The Historic Harriman Hospital, last I checked was a few months ago. That was $800. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, $600. The Monroe House, $150. St. Albans, I believe, is now $700. I think Madison Seminary is $600. I can't remember the name of the other location, but it's owned by the same guy. I believe that's $600 as well. The Conjuring House, I believe that's $850. Post Town Elementary School, I believe is $500 now. I'm not 100% sure. Don't hold me to that. I'm probably highballing it, but that's okay. The Historic Scott County Jail, that's $350. That's a great place. I love that place. You guys definitely need to check that out. Bobby Mackey's, I believe that's $600. I'll highball it just in case. The Old Washoe Club, I believe, I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. I think that was $500. Mackey Mansion, I'm going to say it was $500. I don't remember off the top of my head. Point being is I'm just trying to add up the costs of all of these locations that he could actually go to, or I or other YouTubers could go to with all that money he's making. So right now we are at $67,000. And those were quite a few locations. That would honestly keep me and a lot of others really busy. Point being, that's a lot of money, and that could absolutely change somebody's life. Now, I'm only going to speak for myself. If I was bringing in that kind of an income on YouTube, oh my God, that would be great. That would change my life. I would be able to go all over the place. All that money coming in would be allocated to go to these haunted locations. I could travel outside the United States. It would be amazing. Like I said, that kind of an income would totally change my life as well as other YouTubers' lives. I joke around about it. I do talk about it from time to time, but I need a new car. My car is basically seen its days. It's being repaired at the time of making this video. Thankfully, it's not super expensive. Hey, that's life. It is what it is. You guys have actually bought Patrick a new vehicle. I have said many times, booking locations, getting to the locations, that's our responsibility. That's not our viewers, our supporters, our fans, whatever we want to call them. That's not your guys' responsibility. Not your guys' responsibility at all. Now, I don't make a whole lot of money doing YouTube. I'm okay with that. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm not saying this because I'm jealous because somebody's making a lot of money making all these videos and, you know, oh, here comes the hater tears. Whatever, dude. I don't hate Patrick. What I don't like is how disingenuous he is. Now, my understanding is that some of these prizes people are winning, they're not receiving them, or it's just a box full of shit, basically. It's nothing. If that's the case, you guys need to speak up. You need to let it be known, hey, look, I haven't received anything. And stay on, not just him, but anybody who's out there saying, hey, you donate and I'll get you this. If they don't send that out, if you're not receiving anything, stay on their asses about it. The other thing that I have observed is the manipulation game. Here's a great example. I was watching a while ago, and he's trying to get donations in and stuff like that. And he'll say stuff like this. Oh, I know so-and-so. They're going to donate. I can feel it. Uh-oh. Is somebody going to get on a legend board? Oh, so-and-so. I know you want to. I know you want on the legends board. He does things like that. Or his phone will go off and he'll look at his phone and say, oh, well, I thought that was a donation. I thought so-and-so may have sent a donation. Come on, I know you want to. It's stuff like that. He's making people feel obligated, putting people in an awkward situation, and then they usually end up donating. That is such a horrible thing to do. And quite honestly, what he's doing is actually against YouTube's terms of services. Now what he's done is he's created multiple YouTube channels. One for whatever he's doing with his main channel. He's got another channel that's doing nothing but marathons. He's got a freaking golfing channel. He's using those channels as a vehicle to bring in more donations. My opinion is that he honestly doesn't care about doing paranormal investigations. I honestly believe that he sees it as a way to make money. Doesn't care about investigating or anything like that. It's money. Everything is motivated by money. Now, having other channels that are basically showing the same thing to bring in ad revenue, again, that is against YouTube's terms of services. So I wouldn't honestly be surprised if the Haunted Side channel was terminated. So I know this is supposed to be a debunk video, but I did a lot of ranting and such, and I think I kind of deserve to be honest. With all that revenue that he's bringing in, he should be going all over the place. He should be paying for all these really cool locations. He's not. It's always some abandoned house or location, whatever, that he's just getting for free. Or he's getting them for free because he has some sort of connection to somebody. I want to bring up the Truckee murder house. So I looked into that. And a few other people have looked into that. There is absolutely no history whatsoever of there ever being a murder at that house. That is a fact. I looked into it. I was going to go ahead and call the sheriff's department to see if they had any information regarding a murder in that area or in that house. I didn't have to, somebody else did, and it was confirmed. Again, clickbait, free location, go investigate, make money. The Truckee murder house, bullshit. The Truckee murder house is just a house that ended up becoming abandoned and then eventually condemned. That's it. I don't even think it's haunted. It might be haunted, I don't know. Now, if Patrick is using the donation money and whatever money he's bringing in to pay his bills or whatever, I have no issue with that. I think that's great. That's awesome. Congratulations. You know, it's helped you get a car, helped you pay your rent, you put food on the table. That is great. The problem I have, though, is coming across like everything that he's making is going towards creating content. That is not the case. For me, when I get donations, and it's not a lot, and I'm not complaining, I appreciate it. Guys, it really does help. I take those donations, I put them to the side. Might help me with traveling, helps me with booking a location, even helps me get gears. In fact, you guys, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, this is what you guys bought me. It wasn't anything really expensive. It was 179 bucks. I'm going to use a POV camera. You guys have also bought me a wireless road system. I mean, there's more than this to it, but point being is this is stuff that I'm able to get to help my content and also future documentaries. You know, this helps me tremendously. This little light here, not very expensive, but you guys bought this for me. You wouldn't believe the things that I have been able to get because of the donations. Now I have to let it sit and let the donations accumulate, but I still put it towards my channel. That's exactly what I do. And I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I really appreciate it. I know I don't push myself for you guys to send donations. I'm not begging for donations or anything like that. I don't want to do that. It doesn't come across well. I try to practice what I preach. What I do, going out and investigating, that is my responsibility to have the money for. Those things help me get to locations. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. And even without the donations and memberships and stuff like that, you know, it's my responsibility. However, I still appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. But I want you guys to also go out there and look for these smaller channels that are out there doing paranormal investigations, the ones who are keeping it real, being honest, being open, being transparent. Go support those guys. There's a lot of great investigators out there on YouTube that not a lot of people know about. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you guys want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments. If you guys want me to check out other videos, do debunk on those, let me know in the comments. This video is a little bit of a stray from what I'm going to be normally doing with debunk videos if I continue to do them. The next debunk videos, it'll be more professional. I'm not going to go cutthroat on anyone or anything like that, because there are a lot of people who are investigating, who are new, who don't know better. Maybe something simple as setting off their devices. Maybe you guys want me to check that out, see what it is. That is something that I will do. So, guys, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. See you guys in the next one. Love you all.